President actually following through on an order from the highest court in the land, then we're in serious trouble.
Well, that is Congresswoman Yassamin Ansari, who now says that she wants to join a group of Democrats traveling to El Salvador to try to meet Maryland man Kilmar Abrego Garcia, whose deportation has set off a legal and constitutional rights battle. Abrego Garcia was deported to El Salvador last month. The Trump administration has acknowledged that he was mistakenly deported, but says it does not have the power to bring him back to the U.S., and saying that he is a member of the violent gang MS-13, but there has been no proof of that. The Supreme Court ruled that the administration must facilitate his release. And the White House press secretary doubling down on the administration's plans for Abrego Garcia. Listen to this.
Basic fact that he was illegally inside our country and had a lawful deportation order made him subject to removal back to his home country of El Salvador. And if he ever ends up back in the United States, he would immediately be deported again.
Meantime, the wife of Abrego Garcia admits that she filed a civil protective order against him 4 years ago. This comes after the Department of Homeland Security posted portions of Jennifer Vasquez-Sura's protective order against him on the social site X. She says that she filed that order out of an abundance of caution after an argument because her previous relationship had been abusive and that she and her husband worked through their marital issues in counseling. So legally, what's the next step for Abrego Garcia, and could a political visit even make a difference? Whitney is joining us now with an immigration attorney this morning. Good morning, Whitney.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Those are, of course, two of the very big questions we have. Now, we're not sure when Ansari will actually go to El Salvador, but it's something we're going to keep a close eye on. So joining us this morning is Darius Amiri. He's a local immigration attorney. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's first start with this potential political visit. Again, we don't know if this is happening. We know a Maryland senator tried to visit him in El Salvador, and he wasn't able to actually meet with him. Can visits like this actually make a difference from politicians?
I think politically it's very important. The messaging is important, and I think just in the public arena it's very important. You're bringing light, you're bringing attention to an important topic.
But legally, it might not help this man. I
mean, from what I saw yesterday, I don't think the senator from Maryland was even able to see Mr. Abrego Garcia or obtain proof of life or anything, but he did get information. I think he got a concession that the vice president said that the Trump administration was paying to hold him. So I think getting more information, bringing it out to the public light is very important.
So what would you do if this was your client?
I would be advocating. I would be out in the court of public opinion. They've taken away his due process, so I think it's important to tell everyone his story.
Yeah. So this is a very unique case. I mean, there have been deportations going on for weeks now since President Trump took office. Deportations have happened under every president, in recent memory. But what about this case is so unique?
I think what's unique about this case is that, first of all, we're hearing a lot of, in my opinion, we're hearing a lot of lies from the administration. They talk about how he's a gang member, how he's a terrorist, how he's dangerous, a criminal. None of that's ever been proven. They're only allegations at best. I think also what's important is he was granted withholding of removal. So he was wrongfully deported back to a country that a judge declared him not safe to return to. And on top of that, I think he's an interesting case in the fact that he's married to a U.S. citizen. He has 3 U.S. citizen children. One of them is disabled. So I think he's a sympathetic case as well. So I think for all those reasons, it's really captured the national attention.
And also the Supreme Court involved in this.
Correct.
And what does that tell you about how significant this is and what could potentially be next?
So even for people who aren't lawyers, I think we all know that a 9-0 decision by the Supreme Court is not incredibly common these days. And there was a 9-0 decision that said that the government had to take steps to bring him back to the country, and it's being blatantly ignored by the administration right now. So to me, it's a bigger picture, not just about this guy's case or about immigration, but about our constitutional system of checks and balances.
What legally could potentially be next if the administration does not take the steps to bring him back to the U.S.?
So it sounds like the judge at the lower level is actually taking steps to potentially hold some members of the Trump administration in contempt of court if they don't comply with the orders. So I think that could be very interesting to see if that actually happens.
And how rare is something like that?
It's pretty rare because these attorneys are also members of a bar, and we understand that they have marching orders from the administration, but they also have their own professional licensing and reputations to think about. And if they're held in contempt, potentially lose their license, that could be something that they deal with long beyond this administration.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. Certainly important perspective and something we will continue to follow closely. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.